This is your real estate advisor, Tanya Lorimore. So happy to have you all on this evening. Great turnout. I know everybody loves Boise, Idaho. We've been having a lot of our members requesting and requesting. Well, here it is. Very excited to have our reps on. And co-hosting, we have Scott Pastel, which a lot of you know. So I want to introduce him to you. Please make sure to be interactive. We have the ability to type your questions, and I will answer them as we go, all right? So looking forward to hearing what we have to see, and let me get Scott on. Scott, you here?
I'm right here. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate it. This is Scott Pastel. Hi, guys, and very, very excited to have everybody on the webinar this evening to talk about the Boise, Idaho market. As you guys may have seen in some of the emails we sent out, we've been looking feverishly for the past probably 2 or 3 years at Boise, and we love it for so many reasons, which you guys are going to see this evening. It's a very, very clean, nice, safe market. It's not too far from California. It's easy to get to. Very, very strong job market. Has a lot of large employers. Even a lot of tech companies out in Boise. The difficult part about Boise is it's not easy to find properties that make sense. I mean, it's done very well over the years, and it's also landlocked. And you guys are going to see that on the maps we'll show you. We love Boise, and we've been looking and looking and looking for good properties. We reconnected recently with 2 real estate agents that we worked with all the way back in 2004 and 5, Matt Morgan and Mickey Reynolds. And they came to us and said, hey, we've finally found some properties that your investors have been asking for. And we started talking, and I said, well, let me take a look at it and see. I was amazed to actually see new construction. And what we found was an opportunity in fourplexes in a very, very high demand area where they've already been building these fourplexes, and the builder was able to set aside just a couple for us. The only problem is that we don't have a lot. But we've got great properties to show you guys that are renting quickly. And like we said to some of you guys, there's even a special on price that the builder was able to offer us on the first 2. So I'm really excited to have everybody on the call to show you guys Boise. A lot of you have been asking about that market. It's a very comprehensive presentation, so make sure to take notes. Like Tanya said, if you guys have questions at the end, you can type them in. You can contact Tanya directly. You'll see her information pop up on the last slide at the end. I definitely want to stress to you guys, contact us as soon as you watch this if you have questions. That way we can help you evaluate it and see if this fits into your portfolio. One thing that I love above everything else on this presentation is what's the bottom line? And the bottom line is very, very high cash flow on fourplexes that cost less than properties that probably most of us live in, in California or other places. You're going to see these fourplexes are in the 400,000 range, and they're brand new. So there's no maintenance, very, very, very low vacancy, which we're going to cover. We're going to show you guys a property manager that we work with. So we've got the team in place, and as you guys know, that own property, a team is everything. So I think we've kind of got everything well-rounded, and I'm excited to introduce to you guys Mickey Reynolds and Matt Morgan, our Marshall Reddick reps in the Boise market. Mickey, take it away.
Thank you. I'm very honored and humbled to be on this call with you all. 14 years in real estate has gone very quickly, and I've seen a lot of action in the last 14 years. I've also had a lot of experience in lending. I've been a former president of a successful mortgage company, and I've worked with you all for 10 years, which has been such a pleasure. I've personally owned investment properties in Idaho, Utah, Oklahoma, and Florida, and I've had an amazing experience and learned a lot from buying and selling those. Take it away, Matt.
Thank you very much for having us tonight. We're excited to be here. As Mickey said, my name is Matt Morgan. I've been a real estate agent since 1999. I've had my broker's license since 2005. I've actually been associated with the Marshall Reddy Group since 2003 and met Scott a very long time ago when he was actually an intern at Marshall Reddick's office. I've also had the privilege of helping many investors invest across the country in Idaho, Nebraska, Missouri, and Oklahoma, and Montana over the years. Go ahead, Nick.
It's all about location. You know, I don't know how many times I've heard that in my life. You know, my father was in real estate, and he drilled that into me. And this is such an amazing opportunity because of location. Idaho, for example, is an amazing location due to the amenities around us. You know, we have amazing rivers, lakes, ski resorts. I'm sure most of you have heard of Sun Valley. That seems to be the second Hollywood in the United States. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit about our location as we go through slides, as well as talk about the economy and our team. As Scott mentioned, timing is everything, and it has been 4 or 5 years since I've seen a market like this in Boise. What I mean by that is, to get homes that are completed or fourplexes that are completed by a builder who can meet the deadlines that we require, a builder who has the ability to buy property in Boise and not in the surrounding areas, so that we are in the downtown proximity, you know, a few miles from the mall, a few miles from a new center called the Village, a few miles from Hewlett-Packard's headquarters or Micron Technology. Why Boise? Really consistently, Boise ranks in the top 10 locations for business. Our governor has made it a mandate to bring small business and tech companies to Boise. As you noticed, you know, the world is changing from a farming standpoint more into a technology standpoint, and Idaho is no different. We've used to be really focused in the farming sector, and I've noticed since I've lived in Idaho for 14 years, small tech companies and big firms are moving to Boise, and one of the reasons is that Forbes always ranks us the top place to live. We have no deficit in our state, and that is really attractive to business owners. And I believe we also have a 10-year tax rebate for corporations. Basically, we're giving them 50% off their state income tax roll to have business in Idaho. National accolades, we are, you know, #1 by Time Magazine for getting it right. And I think with that article, I read that article, and it was stating was just that they were impressed that we give a ton of money to our schools, that we have no state debt, and that we really seem to be independent from the federal government. We're really, you know, kind of doing our old model of, you know, Idaho first. We are always in the top for lowest business costs in the Pacific U.S. And in fact, a lot of Californians who have bought investment properties from me in the past have ended up moving here. Best place to raise a family by Forbes of April of 2012. This is one of the safest, cleanest cities I've ever seen, and that's why I've stayed here. I'm originally from Arizona. We are ideal area for business employees and employees. The Boise Valley is an ideal setting for companies because it's affordable, it has a pro-business environment, and employees really like to have their staff members move to Idaho to work because they're happy. I mean, they get to play in lakes and rivers. In fact, 20 minutes north from where I live is the Payette River, and there are Class 4 and Class 5 rapids there, and I see people from all over the world when spring hits driving past my home, you know, with these little canoes and rafts going up to hit the waterway. We are FTZ zone, trade state. What that really means is that we have the ability to manufacture and create goods in Idaho, and then we can get them into the world market. Most people don't know that Idaho is the leading creator of lentils for lentil soup, and that's in northern Idaho, but it goes on the Snake River through barges and then connects through Portland and off the Pacific Ocean. We also have a very high-tech train system in our state. Most of you have probably heard of Boise Cascade paper that you've ordered for your office, and that comes from Idaho and ships out to the world. We have a workforce development training fund, and that has been brought in to help foreign nationals or people from foreign countries move in from war-torn areas, and we help train them and make them U.S. citizens. And then, of course, there's the tax reimbursement incentive that was created July 1st of 2014 in the last legislature, and that has been attracting some big hitters. One thing I want to mention to everybody is Hewlett-Packard has put a mandate out to all of its employees who are off-site that they have to move to Boise, Idaho, back to the headquarters, and they are going to be stationed in the downtown corporate headquartered office. They're not going to allow anyone to work remotely anymore. So there's 3,500 high-tech, high-salary paying jobs that are coming back into Boise, which will definitely increase value in our home prices as well as rents. So our workforce, here's a snapshot of our workforce. As you can see, we have a manufacturing and trade, utilities, and transportation are our two biggest sectors. Financial activities has grown a lot here, and there's some small startup companies that do interesting things with money management that have moved to Boise from San Francisco. I've been hearing and reading in the paper that we're getting a lot of these mid-level tech companies who are moving to Boise, really for that tax incentive, as well as a place to live with not a lot of people, so you can still get into the woods and not be rubbing shoulders with your neighbors. Micron Technology is the biggest employer in the state. The jobs there average anywhere from 35,000 to 15 million. The CEO of the company actually passed away last year in a plane accident, and he was 38 years old, a very fascinating man. And Micron Technology is the leading manufacturer in the world for your phone chips, for the chips they make for the phone for memory. We also have Albertsons, which is now considered super value. Their corporate headquarters have been in Idaho because Joe Albertson was from Idaho, and he's the creator of Albertsons. And then they've now bought Safeway, and because of this merger, they're bringing a lot of people from Oklahoma and the Midwest who were in management for Safeway, and so we're getting those high-end jobs coming to our state. We have Boise Inc. now, it used to be Boise Cascade, and then there is MWI Veterinary Supply. Most people don't know, but they are the leading supplier of vet supplies in the world. They're very, very large manufacturer, and in fact, they're probably 5 miles away from where these fourplexes are. Again, here are some of the companies that have headquartered or have a large number of employees, HP and Micron and Citibank. We are also a hub now for St. Luke's Health System in the Northwest. They've just built a big on-campus site off of Eagle Road, again, probably 10 miles away from the fourplexes that we're offering this evening. We are strategically located in the Mountain Time Zone, and if you look at this graph to the bottom right, you can see how close we are to everything. We're actually only 32 miles from the border of Oregon, and that's a huge farming community in Nissa going through Oregon. It's wine country. The Snake River runs through there. It's a very beautiful place. We have direct flights to many cities in California, Nevada, Arizona, and it's easy to get to. Commuting in the Valley is nothing like commuting in California. I just returned home from a trip to LA, and I thought, oh, I have a lot of compassion for all of you who live in Los Angeles. My daily commute is probably 12 minutes. And, you know, if it takes me 20 minutes, you know, I'm pulling my hair out. So that's very rare. But the Boise Valley is, I-84 runs directly through the south part of the Boise Valley, and it connects us. It's our major interstate, and we did raise our speed limits to 80 miles an hour, which is really surprising. Our daily commutes are easy for everybody. There's Highway 20, 26, and 30. And actually those run east-west and take you from anywhere in the western part of the valley directly into downtown. Our state highways are 21, 44, and 55. Highway 55 is probably one of the most scenic and beautiful drives in the United States. It's along the Payette River, is on your right and left side, and it meanders all the way up into McCall, and then if you keep going past McCall, up to Coeur d'Alene. We have Valley Ride, which they use natural gas buses, and it's a fairly used transportation system in our valley. We obviously don't have subways or things like that, but Valley Ride is always full, and they have good routes around the city. There are 50 motor freight companies traveling 5 interstates and 20 highways and 30 state highways in the Boise Valley, and we have more than 1,600 miles of rail line through Union Pacific and Burlington, Northern Santa Fe. Again, one of our landmarks is a retired train depot, and now it's used for weddings and parties and things like that, but it used to have direct stops to San Francisco, Seattle, I would imagine LA at one time. And there's been a lot of talk that that might reopen, those routes might reopen just due to cost of flying, and has risen so much the train companies can compete again. Our market, our demographic of our market is an amazing thing to look at. We've really grown up in the last 10 years. Our population has increased tremendously. When I first moved here 14 years ago, when I would drive on Eagle Road, I would say 40% of the land on Eagle Road was used for growing crops, and now it is high density, big business is moving in constantly. You know, our male population is 49%, females 50%. Our median hourly rate for employment is $14.38. Our annual income is, our mean is $39,000. We are, you know, this is becoming a community of out-of-towners who are moving in just because the bigger cities are becoming so expensive and getting so dense with people that a lot of folks are selling out and moving to Idaho. We have vibrant communities, minutes from rivers, again, lakes, mountains. We have Bogus Basin Ski Area, which is the largest night skiing resort in the United States, I believe. I know west of the Mississippi for sure. I'm not sure if there is one on the East Coast that has more ski terrain for lighted night skiing than Bogus Basin does. The lakes and the mountains are pristine. In fact, we have a lake that is only 2 hours away. It's called Redfish Lake, and the reason they call it Redfish Lake is because there's so many fish in it, it looks red. And we are a world-famous destination for our rivers with the fly fishing capital mecca of the world. So yearly I meet people from, you know, Australia and New Zealand who come to Boise to fish our rivers. The trout here are amazing. And it's amazing to know, like, every day as I go to my office, I'll see a truck parked and it'll say fresh salmon. And the Native Americans here can catch salmon all year long from the rivers. So you can, you know, get a 4-foot salmon, have them fillet it right there and drive it home. It's amazing. And then we call it rodeo fishing when they let the permitted fishers who are not Native American fish, because we all have to stand shoulder to shoulder, but across the shore, if you're a Native American, you can fish however you'd like to. So it's kind of a funny scene when you see all of us folks who are not Native American fishing in the rivers. Again, vibrant communities. We've had a lot of wealthy people who have ended up in Boise give a lot of money back to the community. One of them was Velma Morrison, and she is a friend of mine. She has passed away as of recently, and her husband started Morrison Knudsen. I don't know if any of you remember that name, but they were the largest world builder. Basically what that means is they would go into war-torn countries and then rebuild the government buildings and rebuild all the institutions. And that company headquarters is in Idaho. So she was a very wealthy woman, and she has given money to create Ballet Idaho, to create a Philharmonic. So we have everything that a big city offers as far as cultural aesthetics. And you can see Bogus Basin lit up on the top left there. We also now have J.R. Simplot. Was the wealthiest, I think he was the top 12 wealthiest men in the world. He lived in Boise. He died, I believe, in his 90s, and he had a handshake with the creator of McDonald's, and he delivered all of the potatoes to McDonald's throughout the world. And his wealth was so vast, I mean, he's a multi-billionaire, that he actually donated his mansion to become the governor's mansion in our state, which is, you can see it, it's up on a bluff and a hill overlooking Boise. But he also, his grandkids, in this middle picture, you see a bunch of kids on kayaks. They made a water park right in downtown Boise where you can go kayaking, and then it takes you off to an eddy and it sucks you back up the waterway, and then you can kayak back down. And that's the type of life you have when you live in Boise. It's my philosophy is work hard and play hard. Vibrant communities, you know, we have the Boise River runs through downtown. And I tell my friends this who live around the world, I say I see fly fishermen every day as I drive to work. And it reminds me of the movie A River Runs Through It. It's that beautiful and that vast. So we have over 25 miles of bike paths and over 850 acres of parks. Everybody that I play with and that are my friends, I mean, all we do is ride our bikes on the green belt. And you can take the green belt all the way from downtown Eagle all the way to downtown Boise now and past it to the east side. We have world-class golf courses, hiking, fishing, and of course mountain biking is a really, really big pastime here in Boise, Idaho. We have over 40 wineries in the state, which is becoming, I mean, there was only 10 5 years ago. So the Snake River runs through the east side of the valley, or excuse me, the west side of the valley. There's just a ton of water, and we have the exact temperament that I would say would remind me of, oh, maybe Oregon's wine country. So we're starting to see with Oregon's wine country. We definitely have a lot of culture here. We have the largest Basque population in the United States. And we have, because of farming, we've brought in a lot of Hispanic culture, and there's much more beyond that. We have, in Boise Valley, nearly 41% of the workforce hold degrees, and over 87% of the adults over 25 have graduated from high school. The state does allocate 63% of its total general fund towards education. And I read the other day in the newspaper that the fund has grown, I think 37% increase in the last 2 years due to the stock market. And whoever's managing is doing a fantastic job. And that is important to everybody here. It's a really, really community-driven state. Everybody here is into community, and everybody is into their kids succeeding. Boise State University is home to Blue Turf. It's our largest university in Idaho. So if you've ever seen the Broncos play, it's kind of our professional football team here in Idaho. When they play, it's always sold out. People drive around in vehicles that are painted the same colors as the team, and the old buses converted that they drive down to the stadium. And then College of Western Idaho, which was just, I believe, ranked as our top college this year, and is actually ranked in the United States. So we're really, really impressed with the College of Western Idaho. Boise, Idaho market, obviously education. Just sort of wanted to show you this quick sheet facts here. We also have Albertsons College, which is a private college, and you can see it's funny here if you went to Boise State and other people went to University of Idaho. It kind of reminds me of the same rivalry I had when I went to University of Arizona versus Arizona State. You know, everybody really gives each other a hard time, and it's a fun rivalry. We have a map here that I wanted to show you. You can see how we're landlocked, and well, we have mountains to the north and to the south, and then in between we have the Boise River. And the really neat, cool thing about the Boise River is you can go to the farthest point east in the valley and hop in a raft, and you can float it all the way through downtown just past the Boise State University. And then there they have a park where you park your vehicles and your friends can pick you up and drive you back to your vehicle. And I do that probably once every 2 weeks. It is an awesome time to be with friends and family. If you look at the map at the bottom right, You can kind of see how our freeway system runs and the density that is starting to happen, and we are landlocked. So it's my guess that we have, I would say we probably have 5 years of space available to build on. We are at 15% multi-level units, so 15% of all the homes in Idaho are multi-level units, and the national average is 27%. So that tells me that we have a ways to go to catch up, as well as our community used to be really affordable, but in the last 10 years we've gone from affordable to somewhat expensive. And what that really means is that these fourplexes that we're offering you are giving you know, our students who are just graduating or newlyweds an opportunity to have a nice place to live within the city center and not be forced to go out to Caldwell or Nampa, which, you know, takes about an hour and 15 minutes to commute into Boise just due to traffic on I-84. And so it's less expensive out there, and it's a great way to start your family. The problem is that you have to commute in to where the good jobs are. So these fourplexes are in the downtown heart of Boise. Take it away, Matt.
Thank you, Mickey. One thing that I am excited about at this time is to explain about the management company that we've aligned ourselves with. We have worked with Park Place Management since 2005, and that's been with the Marshall Reddick Group as well. So Park Place is already experienced in how they handle and how they receive our clients from the Marshall Reddick Group. I've worked with their president, again, since 2005. He has 15 years of experience in property management with 3 different companies. They have a staff of over 40 people dedicated to answering the phones, to showing the properties, to getting the properties leased, and they also have their own maintenance department. Here's the best thing about Park Place Management. They are going to offer our clients a 5% management fee, which in talking with Scott, that's unheard of nowadays. They also will charge $120 per unit every time it's leased to a new client or to a new tenant. And then if they release that property to the same tenant, there's a $50 renewal fee. There's no setup fee, and there's no advertising. Park Place, they manage over about 2,100 properties, so they go ahead and take care of all the advertising. They pay for it. What I would like to introduce to all of you on the call now is the properties that we are going to be selling tonight. As Scott says, we are limited in how many fourplexes we do have to sell. We only have 2 currently at this time. What you'll see here is the name of our builder is Dave Skaggs. He's the senior project manager for Anderson Construction Company. I have worked with Dave again, selling to the Marshall Reddick clients back in 2004, 2005, and 2006. And he's one of the largest fourplex builders in the Treasure Valley or the Boise area. All of his properties are Energy Star, meaning that they will help the tenants on their utilities for keeping the heat and AC inside. The exterior finishes are masonite siding. They also have hardy shake accents and board and bat accents. The interiors are completed to rent-ready items, meaning that you have your microwave, you have a washer and dryer, you have your stove, your dishwasher, and everything that a tenant needs just to move in, so it's turnkey. There are different color schemes for the interior and exterior that the builder does choose. Each fourplex, 2 of the units are 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. The other 2 units are 2-bedroom and 1 3/4 bathrooms. Currently, the builder offers Formica as a standard option in all of his kitchens. For $4,000 more per building, we can upgrade you to granite countertops in each of the kitchens for all 4 units. Now again, as Nikki started off the presentation, location, location, location is very key. And we feel working with this builder, what he does to scout out his properties is try to find the best locations in the Boise area. And what we mean by that is the people that will be renting from us are young families or young professionals or people just graduating from college that work in the downtown Boise area, or they work at Micron or HP or one of the startup tech companies. And so the locations that we've chosen were within about 10 to 15 minutes of downtown Boise, or if they do work on the west side in Nampa or Caldwell, that's only an additional 20, 25 minutes to get to that way. And everything, the freeway, all of your restaurants, your connector to downtown Boise is very close. And again, Eagle Road, the most traveled road in the state of Idaho, is less than 10 minutes away from the location of these fourplexes. Nikki, would you like to talk about the village at Meridian?
I'd be happy to. So I have a few friends who live in Los Angeles, and they happen to be owners of a business called Yogurtland. And I was speaking to him, and he says, do you have any villages there? And I'm like, what do you mean? He says, well, we're in Los Angeles or in the greater Southern California area. There are these village-type shopping destinations that have popped up everywhere. And so I'd heard about this for a couple of years now, and when I went to go visit, he took me to show me his businesses and how they were owned inside these village-type shopping areas. And lo and behold, there was a grass field on the corner of Eagle Road in Fairview that has been growing sod since I've lived here. And voila, construction starts, and everyone's getting excited because we have this thing called the Village coming, which is really a community center surrounded by businesses. And it's amazing because they did a fantastic job. They designed it with a European-style architecture, and the streets are tree-lined. And there's a water feature system inside the village that they play music to, just like they do at the one in Vegas. I believe it's in front of the Bellagio. It's the same sort of thing that goes on and off. And then they have a kids park that in the summertime they have slides and sort of those rubber beaded, almost looks like a turf that they can play on. And then they remove that during the winter and they turn it into an ice skating rink. And it is absolutely gorgeous during Christmas time. Here's a snapshot of some of the stores that have come in. One thing about Idaho is it takes a little while to get some of the businesses here, and that now all of a sudden everything you can imagine from Z Galleria to Lululemon, Chico's, obviously Big Al's. Big Al's is in the center, and it's a monster bowling lane that is high tech and has screens for sporting events. And then north part, they call it the Village North. You have your Monster Michael stores and your Toys R Us and Babies R Us and the Cat Factory store. So it's quite an amazing sight to see here in Idaho, and we are excited to have it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mickey. On the screen now is the location of the Village Chateau and where it's located versus where the village at Meridian, what Mickey just explained. You can see it's about 3.9 miles away, roughly a 10-minute drive, depending on traffic and lights, of course. Here is the plot map of the complex that we will be selling. As you can see, there are 4 fourplex buildings in the complex, and that's all there will be. There are 2 on the right. Lot 1 and Lot 2 are the 2 available that we have for sale. Right now, the purchase price on these properties are $410,000. The square footage, again, is roughly 950 feet per unit. These will be new construction. We based our pro forma on a 30% down payment, and closing costs we based off of 4%. There should be no initial repair costs because it's new construction. So your total out-of-pocket cost will be about $135,000. We do estimate that rents are going to be $900 per unit, which total $3,600 per month. Mortgage payment at a rate of 4.875%, we estimate to be about $1,518. Property taxes, we estimate to be $425 per month. Property insurance, $83. Property management, again, is only 5% of rents, and that when all 4 units are rented out, that will come to $180. Now your HOA is $200 per month. What your HOA is going to cover is the exterior of the building. It also includes the lawn maintenance and 3 days of snow removal. Your utilities, which are paid for by each individual owner on a monthly basis, will cover the water, sewer, and trash. So your total monthly expenses are roughly $2,525. Your monthly income, after you minus all of those from the rent payments, is $1,076, which is fantastic. Now your estimated maintenance, because these are new construction, there shouldn't be any maintenance on these buildings. The buildings do come with a 1-year warranty, sort of a bumper-to-bumper type deal. We did estimate on leasing and vacancy an 8% vacancy rate. Now when you talk to the property manager, he will tell you in the Boise city, or in the city of Boise, your vacancy rate is going to be about 2.5 to 2.8%. So you can see that we were very conservative on our vacancy number. So if you take your maintenance and your vacancy estimates and you minus it from your monthly cash flow, you would still be at $624.17. Again, for the first couple years, we don't intend there to be any maintenance that has to be done. And again, your vacancy rate is very low. Now, for this webinar, we have arranged an agreement with the builder that he was willing to go ahead and lower the purchase price to $405. He is also going to include granite countertops in all 4 units in the kitchen area, and that's a $4,000 value. So realistically, what you're getting here today is about a $9,000 savings compared to what another person would come in and purchase it for. And as you can see, your monthly cash flow actually changes. It goes up to $642 per month, and your annual cash flow goes up to $7,700 per month. And that's ultimately what we're looking for, is to get a return on our cash. And this special is for the 2 units that we have, and it ends 1 week from tonight on the 3rd of September. So again, it's just a webinar special priced at $405,000. And I tell you, my personal experience with real estate is, in the long run, if you hold and maintain these properties, at some point in time, like the slide is, you'll see that you'll be able to hang out on a beach and have your real estate working around the clock for you. You know, your tenants bringing your monthly income in. So again, I appreciate your guys' time and taking time out of your busy schedules to listen to Mickey and I will go ahead and turn everything back over to Tanya. Thank you.
All right, you guys.
Matt, do you want to explain just about the requirements about lending and just a few things on that before we wrap up?
Yeah, I do. I apologize about that, guys. Again, like I said, we have 2 properties to sell. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. And again, unfortunately, we won't have any bidding wars. It's the first 2 people that will come in with a pre-qualification letter and the earnest money deposit of $5,000. And that's basically the 2 requirements. And again, these first 2 units that we sell do have a $9,000 discount on them. And then now I'll turn it back over to Tanya.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Matt. And can you just put up her contact? There you go. There she is.
Awesome. Yep, that's me. All right. Well, you guys, as it did say clearly, it is first come, first served. So please just go ahead, email me your questions, continue typing them away. We've definitely had a lot of questions, so I'm going to start with some of the most frequently asked ones. You had mentioned earlier about the HOA and that covers the outside landscape. Does that include, you know, like the lawn service, as basically people are saying, other people that own multi-units have to do snow shoveling on their own and grass cutting? Is that included in the outside maintenance for the unit?
Yes, it is. It'll cover 3 days of snow removal and then all of your lawn care maintenance, and then the outside exterior of the buildings.
All right, and then a very popular question is, how long does it take to get these units rented in general?
Typically what the property management company does is they will start pre-leasing these units 3 to 4 weeks prior to the first building to be closed on. A lot of times they take reservations and will get the first buildings, you know, filled up as they get closed. Now the property manager is having great success getting these units rented, and he's telling us that within 2 weeks of closing he will have all 4 rented and occupied by tenants.
All right, and a lot of people are wondering, it is near a large area for work. What type of tenants would be renting this type of property? Would it be like young professionals, students?
Yeah.
What would they be normally that you guys see?
You know, young professionals, people who are just getting started with family. You know, there's it's really a community-based city, so you have a lot of people that, you know, maybe get married and they graduate either high school or college and seem to start out with children quickly here. So you're going to have, you know, the people who are getting started in management, maybe even people who are working for the village. You know, there's a ton of jobs that were created once that was brought here. So, you know, it's a rent range that it's going to be your young manager or your team lead maybe for, you know, a small phone company or things like that. So it's definitely going to be a place that you have young professionals or people who graduated from Boise State or University of Idaho that have moved back to Boise. And one thing I was talking with the property manager that he thought is we're going to get some of those higher end professionals who it's really difficult to get a rental right now. But since it's so close to HP, he's already started to see some of the, with that mandatory callback to, I mean, 4plex, and they're going to see a year, 2 years, and decide if they want to build a home in Boise or where they want to go. So you might even get a higher end renter than, you know, a starting out young professional or small family in this current market.
Absolutely. Yep. I definitely agree that location is prime, so might even get some long-term tenants that just work a lot. So I am getting phone calls. I'm going to step away. Thank goodness we have Scott here, and he is going to help wrap this up. But I'm going to go take your guys' phone calls, so please send me an email. Call me on my direct line to ask questions. Tomorrow, day after. Boise is a great market. So I look forward to working with you guys, and I'm going to pass it back to Scott. Thanks, all.
Thanks, Tanya, and thank you so much, Mickey and Matt. You guys did such a good job of explaining the Boise market to us, educating us about, you know, the job employment, about the real estate market, the rental market, and, you know, we really appreciate you guys, all the work you've done behind the scenes. I mean, I know we've been working on this for quite a long time, and I'm really excited that we've been able to present this and offer these properties to, you know, our Marsh Riddick members. And Luckily, we were able to twist the builder's arm a little bit and get those upgrades. And I know our members, because I'm seeing some of the questions coming in. I know our members are really interested in and love granite countertops, and of course, a price discount helps a lot with the cash flow too. Folks on the webinar, I'm looking at the list. I see a lot of names I recognize. Some of you guys own multi-units already. Some of you might not. This is just really a great product for cash flow. It's a great long-term hold. You've got obviously a new construction property that's going to have a tremendous demand, very, very, very little maintenance, and a great location. Like I said, I feel a little bit bad that we could only get 2, but we're continuing the search, and I'm sure in the future at some point we'll find more properties like these. But if this seems like something you're interested in, I just want to stress to you guys, send an email and a call to Tanya, an email or a call to Tanya, and we can walk you through, guys, through all the details. A question just came in about the earnest money deposit. It's a $5,000 deposit sent into escrow, which obviously isn't a whole lot, especially on a $400,000 fourplex. And we'll help you guys pick the right one out. There's 2 available, and yeah, I mean, it's just up to you guys now. So we hope that we can help you if you're serious and you're interested. Then hopefully we'll help you get one of these. And if you have questions about financing, we do have lenders that Matt and Mickey work with as well that are licensed in the state of Idaho that can help you guys finance these at obviously very competitive interest rates. And that's how we got the interest rates that we plugged into the spreadsheet. Thank you guys so much for being on the call. Thank you, Matt and Mickey. You guys did an awesome, awesome job. And folks on the call, we look forward to talking to you very shortly. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Thank you.
Have a good night.